Boom! Welcome to Fight Heads MMA, y'all. I'm back again, and I'm back with none other than the man himself, getting ready to make his UFC debut, you guys. Mr. Tony Bradley. Welcome, young man. Welcome.
Thank
How
you
are
so much.
you?
Thank you for having me back on. I enjoyed talking to you last time. I'm excited to get to talk to you again.
Oh, ditto, baby. Thank you. I had a good time too last time, and we're gonna have a great time this time. Young man, when we last talked, you had just won Dana White's Contender Series, and got a contract. And from that point, when was that? When was that? That happened
Uh,
back when?
that happened on August 13th is when I had the fight.
Okay. And now we are in January of 2020. This young man is getting ready to make his debut at UFC, his first real fight at UFC, you guys. This is most exciting. What date is this card? Where is it going to be? And who is your opponent, young man?
This fight's gonna be January 25th in Raleigh, North Carolina, and my opponent is Brett Johns.
Okay. Who is Brett Johns? What we know about him?
Brett Johns, he's a tough guy. He's from I think he's from Wales. Um, think that's over in the UK. I'm not positive exactly sure where Wales is. I don't know much about the European countries.
They bringing
Um,
him over here?
yes, ma'am.
Oh my God! You get to fight somebody from out of the United States first. Oh, awesome!
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I get to fight not too far from where I live. I'm originally from Martinsville, Virginia, which is only about a little over 2 hours away from Raleigh. So from Raleigh, North Carolina. So that that getting to fight close to home and having getting to have um, a lot of people that I grew up with and people that have known me my entire life get to come watch me fight. It's a pretty big deal, especially since I've always majority of my fights that I've had have all been up north, and the last fight was in Las Vegas, so that's a long ways from where I live. So getting other people getting the opportunity to come watch me and me getting to feel that hometown crowd is really it's really a great honor to have.
Oh man, we are so excited for you, baby. I am excited for you. So, tell us a little bit about your MMA history leading up to this. Like you fought and been champion at other promotions, so you taking a nice little record with you in there.
Yes,
So tell
ma'am.
us about that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm 19 and 5 as a professional. I've fought all up and down the East Coast. Um, I think my first title was for PA Cage Fights. Held a title for King of the Cage, and also my most recent titles for CES. And those all those promotions, the experiences I've had through those promotions and working my way up is a lot of the reason why, well, the main reason why I'm here now, and those promotions helped guide me through, and they gave me tough opponents. And, they never took it easy on me. Always had to fight the best, and that was one. That's the great thing about on regional levels having a belt is I know that they're going to keep throwing tough guys at you, and the next big thing is the next big guy is going to come at you, and that prepares you for for the big stage. I've always been one to want the toughest fights I can get, especially because I plan to be in the UFC. And when you get in the UFC, there are no slouches. There aren't any easy fights. So once you've experienced tough fights and you're used to that, you're not going to be shocked when you go in there and you fight somebody that's not going to quit on you, somebody that isn't going to be somebody that's just going to run through. So those promotions really helped me get to where I am now. And I fought for a lot of other good promotions too, as well. CFFC, um, fought for. It's a big list. I hope I don't forget any.
I know that's
There's a
right.
lot of promotions. I fought for M1 Global once. Fought for Fight Lab. That's in North Carolina. That's one of my favorites because it's close to home. And
Right.
I always got to. Most of those are North Carolina. Well, all those are North Carolina. So North Carolina is kind of like home for me because it's where I live in Virginia is like really southern Virginia, so it's pretty
Right.
close to North Carolina. So um, let's see, I don't want to miss anybody, but I fought for a lot of promotions. EWC. Um,
You fought for Elite Warrior Challenge?
yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, that's actually where I had my pro debut.
Oh wow! What's up, Bruce? You heard you heard Tony give you a shout out, dude. What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Elite Warrior Challenge, one of my favorite Emmy promotions.
Yeah, yeah. They, they've got some good pro. They have pro too. They have pro.
Yes.
Am. So, I've had a lot of. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I'm so sorry. It's really has been a lot of promotions. Cage Titans. That's the one in in New England.
Oh.
Trying to go through. I really don't want to miss anybody, and I don't want to because
You've
I'm
actually been out of the, New England here, up there, past New York, New England, or are you talking about going out the states, New England?
no New England, like still the United States, just
Okay.
northeast.
Okay. Up there past New York, you guys, up there where the Patriots at. That's what you're talking about, up there, Patriot country.
But yeah, I fought for, I've gotten the opportunity to fight for a lot of promotions, which is good because I feel like people, some people, I feel like some people they take for granted where they are, especially like people that get to fight for these big promotions because they happen to just live in the area where these big promotions are. Um, they're very fortunate, and some take for granted. I mean, where I'm from in Virginia, we don't have a ton of promotions to fight for, so it's we have to do a lot of traveling, especially to get like a name because some states don't even take for like Virginia, they kind of overlook athletes in Virginia, fighters in Virginia, just because it's not a huge fighting state. So you getting the opportunity to go other places and travel and to show that people from small states like me and small cities, towns can still do big things. And that's why every time we get the opportunity, I tell people I'm from Martinsville, Virginia, and just to show that I represent where I'm from and to show that just because you're from somewhere that's a lot of people don't know doesn't mean that you can't do big things and make it to the UFC or Bellator or whatever big promotion. And doesn't have to be fighting, just anything that you want to do. It's just because you start somewhere that isn't known doesn't mean that you can't do whatever it is that you really want to do with your life.
Absolutely. We have a lot of fighters that come from small towns and even small towns in other countries. So I like what you said about that. That's absolutely great. Let me ask you this. Uh, what do you think about Cowboy Cerrone's Cowboy Fight Series coming, to Virginia and
That's
giving the fighters a great look?
That's awesome because, like I said, we don't have a ton of promotions, and to have another promotion, not just another promotion come in, but with a big name like Donald Cerrone behind it, it shows that he really wants to give back to the sport. And I think, if anything, he probably just really enjoys getting to help out, amateur fighters and help build them up. And it's awesome. I haven't gotten the opportunity to go to and watch one myself. But I know some people that have fought for him, and I've heard nothing but good things. So it's awesome that he's taking the time. I know he's super busy with his everything he has going on, but for him to take the time to come back and help build amateur fighters up and kind of guide them through the process is really important and a big deal for for a lot of fighters.
I absolutely agree. I think he's offering something that I haven't heard anybody else offer. The offers to put money in escrow for them when they turn pro and to bring them out to his ranch to train, help them with trainers and building a team around them and stuff so they'll be on the right path going into it. So and I'm excited about him fighting Conor McGregor too. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, you guys are really putting on over there at the UFC. You're about to be a part of this, young man.
That's
You
all.
are getting ready to be a part of. You are a part of it. You are a part of it.
It's
So let me ask you about the Contender series.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you end up getting in onto that?
I think the main reason, I mentioned earlier, I had a title for CES, and
Oh,
those guys up there, they really take care of fighters, and they want to see everybody succeed. Of course, promotions want their people to move, but these guys, they really, they're great guys, and they really do want to see fighters succeed, and they did everything they could to get, help me get in the door. They talked to Sean Shelby, and I was even told. by other people. A couple people actually before the fight, leading up to it, I talked to different people. My coach and I, we had talked to different managers, different just people who know the whole fighting thing, and they were saying, yeah, I don't think they're gonna sign any more bantamweights, and I don't think they're gonna. Tony's got too many fights to be on Contender Series, and it was like nothing but like I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, and they were like, you could always fight for. You can go overseas and fight. You can do this, and there's nothing against that. But I'm like, I'm set on fighting for the UFC. Like that's what I've always wanted to do, is fight for the UFC. That's what I've growing up when I first watched MMA. It was the very first fight, it was a UFC fight, and I had my eyes set on that, and I heard people tell me, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It might be a couple years.
Wow.
Signing more bantamweight, especially since they didn't know if they were going to do it with the flyweight division. They were saying, well, a lot of these flyweights are going to move up, and they're not really going to sign any bantamweights. So, I just kind of ignored it, and then Jimmy and Pat at CES, and probably a lot of other people behind the scenes, they helped get me in, and I got the email that they wanted me to fight, and it was it was hard to believe at first, and I'm still right now. It's still hard to believe that this whole process happened, because I guess I've been fighting pro for about since into 2015 was when I
Okay.
had my very first pro fight at EWC, and
Okay.
so it's crazy to think that I guess it's been roughly not even quite 5 years since my pro debut, and I'm in the UFC. So 5-6 years ago, I wouldn't even thought that I would be here. Especially 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I wasn't even fighting. I was just I was working. I wasn't even doing this. So to think that 6 years ago, I had no clue that I would be here, and now I'm about to make my UFC debut, and it's still hard to believe. But I'm excited, and it's I can't wait.
So your opponent at the Contender Series, when you won your contract, when you knew who you was fighting, how long out did you know before the fight who you were fighting?
I think we found out about. I think it was like maybe the first week of May. I
Okay.
think is what it was, and the fight was in August. I think that's
So
right.
you had time to prepare for him.
Uh-huh. It was
What?
a good amount of time. It was probably the longest I've ever had between fights, especially knowing like who you're gonna fight in that long span. Because most of the time, I fought pretty often, so it would I would you would know either like I've known as short as a couple of days before a fight, and and then some. Usually, it's average of like a month. Like you
Yeah.
at least a month would be well at most. Well, yeah, at least a month. But this was months, multiple months. But I like to when I think about fighting people, I try not to think too much about like preparing for that fighter. It's more of you want to better yourself, and whatever style they fight. If you're a complete fighter, it shouldn't matter. You're able to do whatever you need to do, and not necessarily worry about them being a great grappler or a great striker, and only doing these things just to focus on them, because you focus on them too much, you kind of forget that you may even be better at that, or you're better at what you do. You start focusing on what they do, then you kind of are on the defense, and you're waiting a lot, kind of in a sense. So, but that whole fight, that leading up to that fight, I was hoping it wasn't as. I would have rather it not have been such a long gap between, but I've got no complaints. Everything worked out perfect, and I remember thinking, I was hoping that I would just get signed to the UFC and be like a last minute replacement. So every time there'd be a fight, I would, I'd make sure I was trying to stay ready, and like, oh, tell them that I'll fight. I'll fight. Somebody.
Yes.
But this actually was a lot better. It was a lot better experience. I got to go there, got to experience, just the whole process of, I guess almost being a fighter without almost being a UFC fighter without really being a UFC fighter.
Right.
So you kind of get that experience from the start, and how they treat you, and how they do anything they can to help you. You get all you've got like unlimited resources, things like that, and
Right.
to get the opportunity.
Unlimited resources. What kind of unlimited
Well, not
resources? I might
necessarily
want to come to the
unlimited.
UFC. Let me see.
well, not necessarily unlimited, but it's more than the average fighter gets. Going
Okay.
to Performance Institute, and getting to do things like that. And
So
um,
have you been there?
I got to go. I've been twice leading up to the Contender Series fight.
Okay.
Um, Before we actually went for the fight, we had to do all the promo stuff leading up to it, all the videos and the pictures, and then um, once we had the fight, the same time we got to work out there and do everything. So that was our open gym pretty much. And but we didn't. I guess when you weren't actually a UFC fighter, you didn't get to get everything that you get to do. You kind of get like a bits and pieces. But now I plan on going back at some point, and they have like nutritionists. The best way I can explain it is if you think of Rocky, where he fought the Russian in Rocky 4, like all the computer stuff they had tied up to him, and all
Yes.
the things like that. So that's that. From what I understand, they have a lot of that at Performance Institute for the fighters that are actually on the roster now. So if I go there, I can get all the brain stuff, all the VO2 max, all the scientific things that I know nothing about, which is a big difference. I'm just used to working hard, and that's all I know is you just work hard, and that's how you improve. And but I guess to get the opportunity to be able to scientifically understand, add this with the hard work, then you get a little more help. So I plan on doing that at some point. I don't have time before this fight, obviously, but after this fight, I'll plan on taking advantage of some of the resources that they have to offer.
How far is the Performance Institute from where you live? How
It's
far
in
would you
Las
have to
Vegas,
travel?
so I'd
Oh,
have to
you got to
fly.
go all the way to Vegas.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So I'd have to go, and I have to fly. Take a trip out, and whenever I do,
And stay for a week or two,
yes, ma'am.
at least.
Yes, ma'am. And then get some training there with whatever they have to offer, and
And you never know who's going to pop up in there on you.
you're right. There's a lot of people in Vegas. A lot of fighters live there. There's a lot of
Yes.
gyms around there, so um, you never know.
I know you're excited about that because you're making me excited just telling me about it. You're the first person to make me ever want to feel like I want to be in the UFC.
You can do it. You can do it.
I cannot do it. You guys do not be looking for Miss Nikki to start fighting. I observe fights, you guys. I do not get into them. Oh my goodness. So once you had your fight with the young man, that Contender Series, compared to your preparation for this fight and the time that you had to prepare for the fight and how the fight went, what surprised you? What didn't you expect?
You talking about with the fight that I just had, like for the Contender Series? What if
Yes.
anything surprised me? I don't really think anything surprised me. The fight kind of went how I expected. I expected to go in there, and I always try to push the pace. I'm always trying to outwork people, and make people fight at a pace that they're not used to fighting at, and wearing people out. And that that's kind of my thing, is just constantly working until people don't want to work anymore to keep up. And that's pretty much how the fight went. And I wanted to go in there, and I wanted to show a lot of different aspects of what I could do, from my striking to my grappling to my wrestling. And I feel like I showed everything. And the cool thing was, getting to be personally handpicked by Dana White and Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard to be in the UFC. I guess I did a pretty good job if they wanted me to fight for them. So I think everything kind of went how expected. And I visualize, like, leading up to fights, I'm sure most fighters do, but I know I do. I visualize everything. I visualize from the weight cut to the warm up, right before the fight, the warm up, after I weigh in, me working out how I'm going to feel leading up after that, how I'm going to feel right before the fight, the walkout, like every possible aspect of the fight. I picture all kinds of different scenarios. So that way, something happens, I'm not shocked. I've been through. I've thought about how I'm going to deal with it. So that's kind of what happened in the fight. I played out every scenario, and obviously you want to keep playing out the most positive scenarios that you can think of. So obviously those were played out more, but you think of what if this happens in a fight? What if I get hit? What if I have to do this? But
Right.
I think about more positive than negative, and everything, all the positive just came together, and everything worked out exactly how I wanted it to, and I couldn't have asked for a better outcome, better experience. So it was amazing.
You finished this young man, and I believe they said you're the only person that was able to do that.
I maybe I think he may have been submitted before. I think it was the first to finish him by uh,
TKO or
TKO.
KO. Dana White's exact words, because Miss Nikki went back and watched that video, so I could quote Dana White word for word, because he said some real nice things about you, and we know Dana White is not the man that always has the greatest things to say about people, but he has some great things. I think he has a little soft spot for his younger fighters, the ones that's coming in. He got a real soft spot for y'all. I think he really does, because y'all make him smile when nobody else can. Y'all make him smile. But Dana White said that you have great wrestling, you have great hands, and you have unstoppable cardio, and you go for the kill. He said you go for the finish, and he really liked that about you. And that's when he put that contract out and said, "Come on up, Tony. Come get your contract, dude." Yeah. So how did that make you feel with hearing him say those great things about you? And then he said, "This contract is for you." How did you feel in that moment? Like, I know you couldn't bust out like you wanted to, because it was business as usual. But I know you probably just had a bunch of excitement in you, like, "Oh my God, me?"
Yeah, it was one of the things. It's so hard to put into words, especially when you, like I said, when you like as a child, that's what I wanted to do, is be in the UFC. So, um, you know, it's something that it's hard to put into words. It's almost like it wasn't real at the moment, but then again, it like was real. Like, and it was one of those things. Like I said, I visualized it, and I guess I put so much into it, and I guess I it was almost like I was so emotional leading up to the whole process that I
Right.
almost had cried all my tears at the moment. Like I was really emotional, and I'd almost, yeah, I kind of cried all my tears out. So, but it was one
Oh,
of those things where it's so hard to put into words, because once you put your everything into something and you finally get it, it's like, I don't. It's really hard to just. I wish I had a better way to describe it to you, but it's almost like it wasn't real, and it still kind of doesn't feel real. And I hope it. I kind of hope it never really hits me, just because I want to. I want to keep that same hunger and that same drive. I don't want to feel like, oh, I've made it now. I can rest. I can take it easy. I've made it. So I hope it doesn't quite hit me, and I want to keep the same hunger, the same drive, same determination, everything that got me here. Um, that's why I'm here, is because of that. So I don't want to lose it. I don't want to feel like I've content in any way. So I kind of hope it doesn't hit me, and I guess at some point it will, but I don't think it's quite hit me yet. Maybe after this fight it'll hit me, but hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it's going to hit me in the fact that it's going to make me um, content in any way. But I've had so many crazy experiences throughout these couple of years, from the bad, the good. Like I said, 6 years ago, I had no clue I would be right here, but I'm here, and I'm about to make my UFC debut, and I just it's hard to wrap it all up into words what it really means.
I would imagine that for my fighters, you guys have a process that you put yourself through mentally. So right now we're what, 14 days out?
I think so.
Yep. Okay. What is on repeat in your mind?
Um, Honestly, right now it's you just playing you play the fight in your head over and over, and you play. Um, I like to think of me doing the same things I've always done. constantly pressuring, being smart, more of like mental toughness. When I think of a fight, I don't necessarily think punches, kicks, elbows, wrestling. I think of just constantly pushing somebody, working somebody. And for me, it's not just a battle of like our bodies. It's a battle of like our spirits, our souls, our mentalities are battling each other, and only one person is going to be the winner. It's so for me, it's more than I don't always think of just exactly what I'm going to do physically, but I think of how people are going to react when I start putting pressure on them, like um, how they're going to react when I take them down, when I'm smothering them, when I'm hitting them, like just different little things like that. So not necessarily looking at the huge picture at once, but like little battles within the whole fight. Um, how
Mhm.
people react when they think that they think that I'm just going to wrestle them, and then I go out and hit them,
Right.
and I watch them. Now they're worried about striking as well. So now they don't know what to worry about, the striking, the wrestling, and then you take them down, and everybody always thinks, okay, well, I'll just get back up, but they
Yeah.
can't get back up, So when that happens, when at some point, I'm sure I will take him down. Um, when he thinks he's going to get back up and he doesn't get back up, what's going through his head? So I like to think of um, myself smothering somebody's their will, their mental, their mind, and how they're going to react. That's kind of what plays on repeat for me. So as I'm working out, as I'm thinking about myself and how you're going to get tired when you're working out, and I've learned to embrace the fact that I'm going to get tired. It's what you do after you get tired is what makes a difference. So some people get tired and they quit. That's it. They're tired. They take a break. I always try to make myself I do make myself. So even when I get tired, I still, I try not to bend over. I try not to, um, you know, put my hands on my hips. I try to, keep the
Oh,
same posture, and I keep going. I just keep going. I'm just as exhausted as anybody else. I may not show it, but I am, and I just keep going. And that's the thing is, I've learned to embrace that. So when I think about me getting tired, I think, okay, well, that's probably when this person's going to get tired. So I'm going to keep pushing past this because the average person probably got tired sooner. But if I keep pushing, man, I think I have this unrealistic goal of fitness for me, and
right.
I'm always trying to obtain this unrealistic goal. So every time I'm getting in better shape, but I'm still pushing myself to reach this goal that's impossible. So I'm slowly building myself up way further than a lot of fighters, and I'm just going to keep pushing until I reach it. And that's mostly what I think about, more fitness than anything. Fitness, um, mental focus, just having a strong spirit, and I think that along with cardio, they kind of play together. So I know I did a lot of rambling. There's a lot
No,
right there.
I like it when you guys explain to me what you're thinking and how that process goes for you. So when we're watching you fight, we can understand what we're seeing from you.
Yes, man.
So yes, absolutely. Is it is it pressure on you going into the UFC, this being your debut? Is there a lot of pressure on you to feel like for this win?
No, I mean, I always feel pressure. I felt pressure. I put more pressure on myself than people put on me. Um, people have, it hasn't always been like that, but I feel like everybody has so much confidence in me, and the people that care about me, regardless I win or lose,
Right.
they're gonna care about me. But I push myself, and I have this, like I said, I have this almost unrealistic expectation of myself, and it's not pressure, but it's knowing that I can obtain this thing. So I wouldn't say I'm pressured. I feel pressure. Um, I've said this before, but I've got a buddy at the gym that I work out at named Ronnie, and he says you should only feel pressured when you're asked to do something you're not prepared to do. And every day I prepare myself to go in there to go in there and win, go in there to push to the best of my ability, and that shouldn't feel any pressure. I've done all I can. When I go in there, I know I've done all I can do, and all I can do is all I can do. So, if I can't do it, but I know that I've pushed myself to get it done and it didn't happen, and I know I gave them my all, then you know, sometimes that happens. It sucks, and I don't. Of course, I don't want to lose, but
Right.
I'm prepared to go in there and give it my all, and I don't feel pressure. I'm just ready to go in there and make everybody excited. Everybody's gonna get a huge kick out of getting to see me go in there. And there's been people that have followed me since I was a child, all the way up through wrestling and to now. And some people are new to it and just met me, but they're just as excited as I am. But just to get to watch all those people be super excited for me, and everybody buying their tickets and talking about how they can't wait to be there and how they're bringing their friends and their friends, and I'm excited. I don't ever feel pressure. I just feel um, just honored and blessed to have all the support that I have. So if anything, I feel like that support and all that what would be pressure to most people, it's going to lift me up. It's going to give me extra spirit when I'm in there to keep pushing, through the hard times. I'm sure this fight isn't going to be a breeze. I don't expect it to be a breeze. But that extra support is going to help me push through and do what I need to do to leave with my hand raised.
Okay. So now you about to be under the hottest lights ever at the UFC. Them is the biggest lights and the hottest lights. Are you mentally prepared for that? You done fought at so many promotions. You done been in front of the camera. Is there any added for this UFC debut? I mean, do you feel like do you think you might have a extra set of nerves once you start your walkout, or maybe once you get in the cage? Have you figured that out in your mind yet?
I've thought about that, and I've visualized this for a long time. I've literally had dreams about this moment and what it's going to feel like walking into the cage. And I feel like it's gonna be just like another fight. Everything on the outside is just it's just extra on the outside. Everything leading up to the fight, walk to the cage, you get in the cage, it's all the same. There's one man in front of you, you're locked in the cage, there's you and the ref in there, and everything on the outside, it doesn't matter. It's all cool and it's nice and it's awesome. The cameras, but it doesn't matter. Once you get in there, it's the same thing. It's just the same goal, whether it's in the UFC, or if it was at EWC, or if it was in my backyard, or in my gym. For me, it's the same. And honestly, I could say that right now, and I could walk out there January 25th and be like, oh my god, this is crazy. But I feel like I have enough, I think, enough mental toughness, enough control of myself and my emotions to be able to control that and focus that on what I need to do once I actually get in the cage and the bell rings.
Okay, I'm with you, young man. I'm confident that you're confident.
Yes, man.
So, has anybody hit you up for money yet? Since
No,
they know you got a contract in the UFC, let me hold five. Let me hold five. Let me hold five, cousin Tony.
no, not yet. Hopefully nobody does. I mean, I've got a lot of people that support me, that and I feel like I know that I'm not naive to know that everybody that says they're for you is actually for you. So but I do feel like the majority of people that say they're for me are really for me. I don't think I'm gonna get much, at least not the people that I'm close with are gonna do that to me.
Right, right,
They understand that I'm leading up to this, I've sacrificed a lot of finances to get to here, and they understand, they're not gonna wanna take anything from me or anything like that. But
right.
whenever I get enough finances to where, um, I'm comfortable.
You're able to
Yeah, I
help
want to
people
start
out.
helping people, and I want to, especially, um, you know, up and coming fighters, wrestlers, anything, because wrestlers don't really get as much. At least high school wrestlers don't get as much. Wrestling programs don't get a lot of shine compared to football, basketball. So, if anything, it would be,
Oh,
helping wrestling programs. My high school, Magna Vista High School, and
okay.
just any other fighters. I told my wife, like, when I'm done fighting, when I have the opportunity, I want to be able to guide other fighters you know, in any way I can to help, just like I'd say like Derek Brunson has to me. He's been like a big brother in a way.
Oh, really?
He I got to meet him. I went and trained with him once because a buddy of mine named Austin Trotman that used to wrestle with me at Appalachian State in college. He's
That name sounds so familiar. Like somebody has said that, and I've heard that name quite a few times.
maybe I don't know. He's a great wrestler. He got
Okay.
third at NCAA's my last year of wrestling, and he was great guy, great wrestler, great person. But he's Derek Brunson's wrestling coach now, so he kind of got us hooked up. And I came down and I worked out with him, and ever since then he's been. I mean, every couple weeks, couple month or so, he messages me, asks me how camp's going, how life's going. He's one of those people that he'll do anything to help somebody. Not just me because I've started to build a name, well, somewhat of a name for myself in a way, but any other fighters, he's just one of those good guys that, if he can help you, he's going to help you. And I want to be like somebody like him. He's not only doing great for himself, but he's reaching back and he's helping other fighters do the same for themselves. So, that's my goal for when I'm able to do that. I still try now, but I can only do so much now with what I have. So,
Okay. Well, ain't nobody expecting you to do no more than what you can, and we need you to take care of you and your family first, and then we'll worry about the rest later. Yes. So, how has camp been for this upcoming fight for you?
it's been great. It's been the same. Everything's been the same. Um, I'm working just as hard, working with the same people, um, and just continue to grow, continue to better myself. And we actually today we had, which is pretty cool. We I got a bunch of people from the Virginia area, like Roanoke,
Oh,
back
really?
home where I'm from. A lot of guys came up to our gym today, and we did some training, and it was good. We had it was a good amount of people, maybe almost maybe like 15 people or so, just other fighters that
Who
um,
came up from Roanoke?
um, Brian Maxwell,
What's up,
um,
Brian?
Kyle Johnson. I think his last name's Johnson. Kyle
Hey,
Johnson.
Cal. I know Cal.
And
He
then
fights for Spartacus sometimes.
yep. And he
Okay.
actually fought for Cowboy too. I think his last
Yeah,
fight was for the Cowboy.
that's right. Yep, he
And
sure did. I gotta talk to him.
I'm trying not to miss any names. I hate leaving people out. I don't want to leave anybody out.
But
Um,
that's all right. But that's all right. The guys know you thinking about them. That's what's up, you guys. Thanks for coming up and getting Tony that good work he needed before he goes into this debut. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
yeah. And had some people from back from Martinsville, my hometown. Um,
Okay.
Nitro, Nitro Garcia, called Nitro.
I've met Nitro before too. I
Todd
got some fight footage of him. I gotta get
Monroe,
it. Yeah.
and Todd Monroe. You might know Todd. I'm not sure.
I do. I
Todd
do.
Monroe. And
He's don't tell me they're oh, I'm trying to think of what the heck their team is called. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh man, MMA. Geez, I can't even think of it. What is it, Tony?
Rock Bottom,
Monroe MMA, right?
maybe. I'm
Okay.
not sure, but he used to. I think he's still with Team Rock Bottom, um, with Jamo Lucas, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of talented fighters in Virginia that they but so to have all these talented fighters, a lot of talented fighters, a lot of people don't know, and for some reason maybe these guys either they're not from big gyms because we don't have any huge gyms, so
Right.
um, but to have everybody come together, I had some people from Blaine Shutt. He's from Pennsylvania. He's come down a couple times to work out with us. He actually fights at CES the day before me. So, um,
Okay.
we've had a bunch of people from other gyms come, and just it's cool to have everybody come together, and all these hands in to helping somebody improve, and then they're also improving as well. They come and we all get good workouts in, and it's a cool experience. It was cool today just to have everybody come from so many places that want to help me. um,
Mhm.
they're coming to work out too, but they're also doing whatever they can to help me get better and whatever I asked them to do, they would do. So it's a cool thing to I can can thank those guys enough for coming up and taking the time out of their Saturday to come punch me in the face.
I know that's all right. So tell us about your coach. Tell us about the gym. Shout them out. Let them know you loving them too.
My
Tell
coach,
us about them.
yeah, my coach is Perry Gibson. He's my coach at Tech MMA, and our gym we've got some good fighters, a lot of talented fighters, and we're not a huge gym. Like I said, there aren't any huge gyms, but it's not you don't have to be a huge gym to do big things.
I
And
know.
also, I like the Virginia Tech Wrestling, Southeast Regional Training Center. Wrestling's they help me out a lot. So they got they
What's up, Hokies? Let's go, Hokies.
they help me out a lot too. Those coaches, they don't have to let me in the wrestling room, but they do. They let me in, and they help me in every way they can. Coach Freyer, he grapples with me. He's an Olympian, so if you can grapple with an Olympian, and he wrings my neck a couple of times, but he's tough, man. And I tell him all the time, and I know how I feel on top of people, and people think that my pressure is really hard. And when you get him on top of you, it's like, man. So I was like, it's weird because you used to doing that to people, and then they do it to you. It's like, man, this is what it feels like to do this to other people. But well, this is what other people are feeling. But it's awesome. Everybody in that room, I've gotten to wrestle with so many people in that room, and they all are super tough. They actually just wrestle. I just left the wrestling match. They wrestled West Virginia, and they beat them really bad. It was like 36-3 or something like that.
Oh, damn. Hokies, y'all went up in there and took what y'all wanted, didn't y'all? Oh, man.
Yeah, but between those two, Tech MMA and Virginia Tech Wrestling, man, it's hard not to be prepared for a fight when it comes to the striking and jiu-jitsu that I get at Tech MMA and the wrestling I get at Virginia Tech. That's those are two strong gyms and associations that
Mhm.
do really big things, and to have to be able to do both of those and have both of those people come together, organizations come together to help me. It's awesome. I couldn't ask for better groups of people to help guide me along the way.
I know that's right, baby. Do you think, or do you believe, or have you grown to learn that how you are, your attitude, how you carry yourself is the energy you put out and the energy that you get back? And maybe that's why a lot of doors have opened for you.
Maybe so. I would like to say that's the case. I'm really big on being grateful for the opportunities that I do have. So, and that could be why I keep getting opportunities to like bigger opportunities. They keep growing and growing, and I like to think that that's why. But I think so. I think so. I just try to be as genuine as I can. I try to be as thankful as I can, as grateful as I can for all the things that come my way. And it seems like the more grateful I am, the more things keep coming. So it's just like a never-ending cycle of being grateful. So every time I sit down and I think about what I'm grateful for, the list keeps growing every day when I sit and think about it. So it's like I said, I couldn't be more grateful for everything that's happened for me, and I'm excited to keep to see what else is in store for me.
What has Tony learned about himself in this training camp?
Um, I've learned that, which I've kind of known this. You learn that there are gonna be hard times. There are days where I really don't want to go to the gym. I'll say, man, I really don't want to go today, and but you have to. You have to. Those are the days that are the most important because anybody can say, I don't want to do this today, and you
Mhm.
can just walk out. That's the average person, but when you have higher goals and other people have higher expectations of you, days like that are when you just kind of have to suck it up and you have to do it. And then once you get going, it may not be as bad. I've never not really wanting to go to the gym, and then went and said, "Man, I wish I didn't go to the gym today. I wish I, didn't push myself today." But I'd rather do that than not go and say, "All right, I wish I'd have went to the gym. I probably wouldn't have lost this fight." But I always face adversities. Every fight, every day is always something that you can think of that you can sit there and complain about and say that, oh, this happened to me today, this is bad. And I'm not gonna lie, some days I do complain, but you have to suck it up. I had a day last week actually. I was telling my wife I was jumping rope and I was like, man, I just don't want to do this. And I was complaining, but she stayed there and she's really supportive of me. And um, I wasn't gonna leave and not do it, but she stayed there and she was with me the whole time and listened to me complain and whine and be a baby about it. But I got it done, and I was glad I did. But that's gonna be anything. So not necessarily anything in particular this time, but every day I'm learning more about. You learn more about yourself every day if you really pay attention to yourself. But I'm just trying to make myself not just a better fighter, but a better person, a better husband, better son, better friend. Anything I can do to better myself on a daily basis is what I'm trying to do. Better teammate, um, anything, because I can only fight but for so long. So I'd rather somebody, enjoy me and love me for who I am rather than just my fighting abilities. Because one day I'm not going to be able to fight anymore, and then what? So I'd rather grow this big support system of people that's going to support me through life, not just through my UFC career or my wrestling career, whatever career I'm currently in. So and I think I've built. I take pride in my support system and everybody
Absolutely.
that's helped me along the way. I take pride in everybody, and it's something that I like to kind of show it off when especially like at fights. You get all these people come, and there's one thing to have fans, people that come see you and want to see you succeed, but I don't like to use the word fans. I like to say support.
Okay.
I think fan makes me feel like me calling somebody a fan feels like I think I'm above someone. And when I think
Really?
support system, I think of like somebody that's helping hold me up, type thing.
Oh
Because that's how
wow.
it is. It's I can only do but so much. I'm a human, so
Yes.
sometimes you need somebody to hold you up. You're not gonna be levitating above people. So uh,
James.
so I'm excited to see the support that comes out to the fight, and I can't wait to hang out with everybody afterwards and just experience this whole ride with them.
Give me one interesting fact about your contract. Something you could tell us, something good you could tell us, or don't mind telling us.
I don't know. I think most newcoming fighters pretty much have the same. Um,
Are you allowed to fight? You're not allowed to fight at any other promotions on that contract, are you?
no, it's exclusive to just the UFC.
Okay.
But honestly, I mean, I don't want to fight anywhere else. If
He said, I'm here, I'm good. I'm
yeah,
sit right here until you call my name.
yeah. That's the thing. This is what I wanted, and this is what I've asked for so many times. This is what I've constantly talked about so many times. So, um, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be here to stay, and I want to finish my career in the UFC. Whenever I retire, and put my gloves down, and I want to do everything I can do in the UFC, and I want to be in the Hall of Fame. And whenever I call it quits, I want it to be. I want the UFC to be the last promotion that I fight for.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. I'm asking you this because this is a normal thing for you guys as fighters at the UFC. Sometimes there's a lull in between your fights. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, it could almost be up to a year. What are your plans for those lulls to stay fresh, to stay ready? What you going to fill that time with?
So I guess
Outside of watching other fights.
that's a good question. That's definitely a possible thing that could happen. Whether it be injury or things that just no fights that that's
Right.
the thing. So I guess main thing is just staying in shape. A lot of people like to when you don't have something to train for, sometimes it's hard to keep training with the same intensity. But
Keep the motivation.
I guess it would be the hope of that something's gonna pop up anytime. That's for me, that's what it's always been. I've always tried to stay ready because you never know when something's gonna come up. You could say, "Oh, it's probably gonna be a year," but you could wake up tomorrow and they say, "Hey, we need you to fight next week." So you never know. But other than that, I'd still like to stay active with. I think there's still they still allow us to compete in jujitsu events and things
Okay.
like that. So, that's something I'm willing to do. Um, compete in jujitsu things and um, continue to go places to train and just continue to stay active. That's the thing. People not being active and not having fights can hurt people, not just financially, but mentally. People think they can just take a break and oh, I'll just pick it back up when I have a fight. But if you're not ready and a fight pops up all of a sudden, then you'll be in some trouble when
Yeah, and
when
maybe
you're not
lose an
ready.
opportunity because you wasn't near your weight. So you going into one of the toughest divisions in the UFC, that bantamweight division. I know you've been looking at that roster. I mean, what you thinking, young man?
It's some tough fighters, absolutely, but I fight because I love it. I enjoyed it. It's something that I was born into a fight family, and I like fights. I like scraps. I like things that aren't easy. So I could go. I could have stayed any other regional promotion and cherry picked and I don't want to do that. I want to be the best I can be. I want to fight the best. I want to win the UFC bantamweight title, which I know it's going to be tough because there are a lot of tough fighters, and I watch all the fights, especially the bantamweights, and it's a
Of
lot of tough men.
course.
And at some point, I'm already starting out with a tough bantamweight, so
Yes.
I'm looking to climb the ladder one fight at a time. And I can't look too far ahead and look at
Right.
this not too much. I'm just kind of keep your head down and keep grinding. And whoever they put in front of you is your next. That's your next obstacle. So right now it's Brett Johns. I don't know who it's going to be next, but we'll get through Brett Johns first, and then we'll focus on the next person and the next person. Until
One
my
person at a time.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Man, you are now, young man, officially amongst the ranks of fighters like Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, some great fighters, Dominic Cruz. I mean, man, you are in there. Your name is on that roster, young man, and you are part of this group. I am so excited for you. I am so excited for you.
Thank
And I'm excited for Brock too. And I'm going to talk to him before he fight too. I am because this is a dream come true for every fighter. That this is the man. This is the coup de grace
Yes,
of
ma'am.
MMA fighting, UFC.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
think? Do you think people might tend to get a little jealous? Are you worried about anybody that you thought might have been in your corner getting a little jealous about you having this type of success at this point?
No, no, I don't think so. Like I said earlier, I think everybody that's for me, I think they genuinely like me for me. So, and I'm one of those people too. I love to see people succeed because if they can succeed, I can succeed, and I genuinely feel happy because I know what it feels like to, have a goal and to want to reach a goal and start to reach a goal. How good it feels, and sometimes I think I feel. Um, More excited for other people's success or just as much excitement for them as I do myself. So, I hope there aren't people like that. There may be, like I said, I'm not too naive to say that, oh, there aren't any, but, I feel like for the most part, everybody that I know and that I'm close with, they can't wait. And they're absolutely ecstatic for me getting this opportunity to do this and to represent. Like I said, every chance I get, I tell everybody I'm from Martinsville in Henry County, so everybody from there just loves the fact that they get to say that I went to school with that guy. That's my best friend. That's I grew up with him, type thing. So And if people get a kick out of it, I get a kick out of it because anything I can do to make somebody happy, I'll do it if I can. So I just wanna keep representing for everybody.
Is there anybody in the UFC that you haven't met that you would like to meet? Another fighter?
I've been a huge George St-Pierre fan for a long time, ever since like middle school. So before he even like won the title, I used to really love George St-Pierre. So I like to say I'm like one of his day one fans, not like a bandwagon fan. I liked him before he even beat Matt Hughes for the title. So um, I'd love to fight on a card with George St. Pierre, which I guess it's not. He retired, but then he came back also, so he's not quite done. So I guess there's still a possibility there. That would be that would be amazing to get through that.
That's
Right at
that's
starstruck.
That's what I was going to say. Like George has retired, he's retired a couple times and came back, but everybody is calling for him to come back. They want to see him fight. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are not at peace with him being at peace in retirement? Why you?
I, I
He
think
ain't even fighting, and we talk about him more than the people who are fighting.
I mean, I guess that goes to show like how big of a legacy he's built, how big of a name he's built, and how great he's done. You have people that, he's not retired. He's like almost retired, but what he's done, it's almost like everybody that is fighting now kind of wants a piece of it, and now all the fans love it too because I want to see him fight. Because I can't. I really enjoy watching him fight. Everything he does is he's one of the most well-rounded fighters, and I still think he's the best uh, pound for pound fighter ever. So I think fans want to see it because if they love him as much as I do, they just want to see him fight. And
Right.
also, everybody that fights now, I feel like it's almost like um, it helps build their legacy if they fight him and if they beat him. Because he
Right.
hasn't lost in a long time. So I think people want to fight him and they want to beat him and they want a piece of that legacy. So I think that's kind of why, um, it people won't just let him go.
Poor GSP.
But I'm sure he's okay with that because he seems like from I don't know him personally, but I've watched a lot of documentaries, seen him fight, watched him fight growing up, and he's one of those people that he likes challenges and you give him somebody
Absolutely.
that you think he's not supposed to beat or somebody that the odds are stacked against him. He wants to keep doing it because he's doing it right now. He's got nothing else to gain other than his own personal wanting to do it, wanting to challenge. His legacy is already solidified. He's
So who do you think that person would be? Who do you think that fighter would be that would be able to lure him back into the octagon?
I don't know. I keep seeing.
Because we already know if he come back, then they're gonna make sure his money is good. They're
Yeah,
gonna make sure of that. So
yeah.
we ain't gotta worry about that. Who do you think that fighter is gonna be? I know Jorge been talking about did he say he wanted to smash his face or something?
I think I saw that a couple of days ago on Instagram.
Masvidal is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if he'd be able to do all that. You know, he's a good fighter, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my prediction for that fight. But I think a good fight would be. Obviously, they keep bringing this up. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I think Habib and um, George St. Pierre would be a big money maker. And I don't know, why I don't know if it's something that can be possible. I don't know how negotiations work between two
Right.
big, like that. So it's probably not as easy as all right. Well, we'll give you this much, you take this much. It's not that easy. So
Yeah.
they would have
It's
already
it's
fought.
some it's some real we got to get to the conference table type
Yeah,
talking.
they
Yeah,
probably
to
did
get that
multiple
done.
talks too, like 5 or 6 of them.
Man.
But
So I hope that if he does come back, that we get a great fight. Whoever he fights, I hope we get a great fight if he does decide to come back. And it would be an honor for all of us to get to see him fight at least one more time. If he doesn't come back, we still appreciate everything that he's given us up till now. We just really appreciate that. And I guess, like you said, that's what keeps people wanting to see. We still living in that day when he was just doing his thing, and we still want to live that day. So, if we can get him to feel the same way we feeling, maybe we'll get him back.
Yeah.
So, who else is on this card that you're going to be on? What's the main event on the card? Because I haven't even looked at it. I ain't went into my fight pass or nothing. I'm just going on the fly.
Well, that's fine too. I mean, if you're gonna watch the fights, you're gonna watch the fights. It really doesn't matter.
I'm gonna watch the fights. I'm gonna watch, but usually I don't check them unless I'm interviewing for them. I really don't check them until like maybe a week before the fight is supposed to happen, and then I look down the list and see who's doing what, and I decide in my mind who I think might be victorious. But I don't never share that with everybody. I just wait and watch the outcome of everything, because it just takes one punch, one kick, one elbow, a takedown. All it takes is one to change the course of a fight. So I don't never discount any of y'all going in there at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So who's gonna be the main event?
I think the main event is still Curtis Blades and Junior Dos Santos. I think that's the main event, and I think the co-main might be Michael Chiesa and Rafael dos Anjos.
Shut up. Y'all got some nice names on that card. That's what I'm talking about. Have they told you about where's on the card you're going to be? Are you going to be on the prelim, or are you going to be on the early prelim, the prelim, or the main card?
I'm not sure. I've wondered the same thing, because people keep asking me, because if they can't make it, then they want to know where to watch it, because if it's lower in the card, it'll be ESPN Plus. If it's like getting towards the main card, then it's going to be on ESPN. So I'm not sure. I've seen all kind. I've seen I was fight number 2. I've seen fight number 5 or 6. I've seen a little further up. So I have no clue what what is. I wish I would. Like I said, I try to visualize everything. I wish I would. So right now I have to visualize either one, but I like to. I probably visualize a little too much. But I guess it's not really. I guess you can't visualize too much if you want to know all the details and you want to be able to, get everything in. But I'd like to know where I'm at, just to kind of, picture like,
yourself.
The second fight. So now I know you know what I'm saying. So, but hopefully I find out soon, so I can, start putting that in my mental analysis.
Right.
Let people know. So I'm not positive, but soon as I find out, I'll let everybody know, because a lot of people have asked me.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to tell us about you that we don't know about you? Something fun you might like to do, a favorite food or a favorite movie, or do you like video games? I wouldn't imagine that you have time for any of that very often. You have to probably solidify with your wife date night and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, on our free time, what we do is we play games with our buddy Daniel. We play board games. That's pretty much that's what we do in our free time. So,
game night. That's what's up.
Getting older, we don't go out and stuff. We just hang out and play games, and that's pretty much it.
Watch the kids run around, huh?
Well, I don't have any kids yet, but I've got cats. That's
okay.
But other than that, I guess I'm not. I tell people I'm not very I'm not an extremely interesting person when it outside of fighting. I don't really do. Some fighters are big into gaming. Some fighters, I don't know. There's all kinds of other stuff, but I don't know. I can't really think of much that would be surprising. I guess some people. I guess one would be. I'm a substitute preschool teacher. I guess that's
at the front door. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, the secrets from Miss Nikki. Y'all look at that. See, I had to ask you for you. Oh my goodness. So what is it like working with the kids like that?
Good. And any I enjoy it. Any free time I get, I tell them it's pretty much one of those things where, if I have free time, I let them know I can come in during these hours. So between workouts, pretty much usually how it goes. A couple hours, whatever it is, hour or two, between workouts, I'll say I can come in this time, and I've worked anywhere from the infants all the way to like the kids that are, I think the oldest maybe like fifth grade. So
Okay.
um, anywhere
Before and
between
after
there.
schoolers.
Yeah. So sometimes I come in during nap time and all I do is make sure they stay on their cots and go to sleep and don't get up and act crazy. Um, but I like the afternoons because in the afternoons, I don't have to be the bad guy and make them be quiet. Once it's afternoons, we go outside and I get extra cardio. I get to run.
Right.
They all want to play tag, but they all want to play like 20 different games of tag. They all want me to tag them individually. So there's multiple classrooms on this big playground, and I have to tag each individual kid. So
Oh my,
cardio. So it's actually I get paid to
they
work
be working you out,
out.
huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a day on the playground where you've had two on one arm, two on the other arm, two
Um,
on both legs? They try to change.
every single day, every
Oh
day.
my
Every
God.
day I go there, there's multiple kids and they all jump on me, and I'm okay with it. But then the other
Right.
teachers are like, "No, we can't jump on Mr. Tony. We only have one Mr. Tony. We can't break him." So, um, but yeah, that's all the time. They're multiple classrooms, and I've been in every classroom, so I know all the kids pretty much, and they all know me. So it's not just one class of like 10 kids. It's like 5 or 6 classes of 10 kids,
Oh,
all
that's 50 kids right there.
pulling you. Sometimes they pull me, and I think I'm gonna fall on them and crush them. So like, I have to be aware. So they're like helping build my muscles and stuff too. So it's an extra workout, but I enjoy it. I guess that's the only thing that um, people don't know about me is that
Okay.
most of the time when I'm not working out or I'm not helping somebody work out, um, I'm working with kids a lot of times.
Okay. That's what's up, young man. We ain't mad at you. Yes. Tell your wife that Miss Nikki said hello and thank you for being such a great support system for you. Yes, thank you to everybody that is a support system for Mr. Gravely. He needs that. They all need that. And we're going to be looking forward to January 25th, Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all, it is going down. It is going to be UFC. Mr. Tony Gravely. What's your opponent's name again? Say his name.
Brett Johns.
Brett Johns and Mr. Brett Johns. They're going to be going at it, y'all. This young man is coming all the way from another country over here to face our guy here. And both men are ready, I suspect. No injuries going into the fight for Tony. He's had a good training camp. His mental is good, y'all. So with that being said, we just got to wait till the 25th and watch him pop up there in that UFC octagon and do what he came to do.
Yes, man.
Yes. Shout out your sponsor. Shout out your team, your coaches, anybody that you want to shout out, baby.
Yeah, I usually have pretty long ones. I'll try to narrow it down a little bit. First, like my wife, she's like I said, she's the biggest support. A lot of things that I do, like I said last week when I had my meltdown, didn't want to work out. She stayed. She was there. She supported me. So that's pretty much. She does that a lot. There's a lot of things that obviously that us fighters go through. I think in general, um, probably the most overlooked would be wives. I would say
Absolutely.
people think about their coaches and their teams and their managers, but when you have a spouse that is with you 24/7, that they see the good, they see the bad, they see you whine. Like fighters can you can see I'm sure you see a fighter and how they act, but I guarantee they whine at some point to their wife or significant other. So she puts up with a lot. You know, when I don't want to do stuff, she makes sure I do it. She does anything.
Give you that nudge.
Yep, exactly. And she'll tell me straight up if I'm not doing something right or if she didn't like the way something looks or so she does whatever she can to support me and look out for me. And I appreciate it, and I couldn't thank her enough for everything that she does for me. I like to thank my coaches, Perry Gibson. He's like a father figure. He does a lot for me, and he's been my MMA coach since day one, and he's helped me grow, helped me as a become a better man, become a better fighter, and I appreciate him, and like also my coaches at Virginia Tech, Coach Frere,
Go
Coach Roby,
Huskies.
Coach Brewer, um, Coach Ethan, Coach Hott, Coach Walls. It's a lot of coaches, but it's a lot of people there that play a big role. All the athletes that work out with me, it's a big deal. It means more, to them. It's just another workout. For me, it means a lot because I don't have to be there. I'm not on the team, so for them to welcome me and to treat me like a teammate and to get on me, when there are times where I'm not doing well, they fuss at me just like I'm a teammate. So
That's right.
they're not getting any benefit from me other than me, shouting them out. And I appreciate all they do for me. My teammates at Tech MMA, those guys, they push me. Um, all the guys that came up today, they all push me. They help make me better. Um, my family, my friends, my parents, my wife's parents, all those people, they've been amazing support for me. Um, Othello Group, Dominance MMA, everybody that has had any part to do with me, I appreciate it. I can't say enough how much I appreciate everything they've done. People look at fighters, they think this fighter's built this career for by themselves, and they're
Right.
a great person, but it takes multiple people to come together and to help build this person into who they are. And a lot of people get overlooked, so I try not to overlook people. Sometimes I forget, but I try my best not to overlook people. So I'd rather sit here and ramble for like 20 minutes and forget somebody than feel bad that I forgot somebody. So
I know that's right, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
and thank you for having me back on. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everything. It means a lot. Think what you do for fighters. What you do for fighters means a lot. It's I think that's something that also gets overlooked. The coverage that you give, the support you give, helping build fighters, helping everything you do. It means a lot, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you guys, I cannot do this without you. It is because of you guys that I do this. Y'all give me something to do. Y'all give me value when I don't feel like I have any. So I thank you guys. If it wasn't for you guys out there putting everything on the line, y'all put everything on the line. Y'all sacrifice everything for 25 minutes, for 15 minutes to be in front of the lights and to showcase your skills. So at the end of the day, if we can do something to make it better for y'all, why not? Why not?
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
For the rest of the fighters, for other fighters, we appreciate all that y'all do for us.
Yes, baby. Oh, give me a name from your gym, one of your AMI fighters that you feel like is making big strides right now.
Um, let's see. We don't have many amateur fighters.
Oh, y'all got all pros, huh?
We've had some people um that have had fights, but they kind of just started. Nobody's really like long into
Okay.
um into their like amateur career, but we've got a lot of new guys when it comes to like amateur, and we've got some tough pro fighters as well. But most of our amateurs are still pretty new, and they've only had like a fight or two, maybe.
Okay.
Or not.
Well, this is the place they need to be, right up here with Miss Nikki.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
We do the 1 and 2s. Yes. To stop laughing, honey, you too much. Oh my goodness. January 25th, you guys, Raleigh, North Carolina. It is going down. The UFC. Is this going to be a fight night card, or does it have a number on it?
This is a fight night card.
Okay. This is going probably January 25th is going to be Friday, right?
It's Saturday.
Okay. Fight night on Saturday, you guys, January 25th, Raleigh, North Carolina. Mr. Tony Gravely is making his debut at the UFC. Boom, there y'all have it. His record is 19-5. If you think you want that smoke, you know where to find this young man. He over there at the UFC. If you want that smoke with him now, yeah. So you go over there and talk to him right there. Yeah. And don't forget, if you come running your mouth, you got to sign your name on the dotted line, guys. That's important. You got to sign that contract so you can get in there and fight. Yes. Yes. How many fights is on your contract?
I think I'm on a 4-fight contract. So I think I'm not positive. Like I said, I'm new, but I think a lot of the new fighters, a lot of fighters that are their first time fighting the UFC, a lot of them get 4-fight deals, and you kind of go from there. Obviously, if you don't do well, then they may not want you to re-sign. But obviously, if you do well, they keep re-signing you. So my goal is to keep doing well, and to I want to be a staple. So I want it to be. I don't want to have to be where, oh man, I hope they offer me a contract. I want it to be like, all right, when's the next one? Like type thing. So that's the goal. I want to be here to stay, and I'm gonna do everything in my power. In my ability, work as hard as I can to stay here. Getting here is hard. Staying, from what I hear, is even harder, and I understand it because I've seen a lot of fighters come and go. So, looking to stay just as determined, just as hungry, and to solidify my place here.
That's what I'm talking about, young man. We are very excited for you. I'm happy for you. You've worked hard. You deserve it. You have worked hard and you deserve this. And don't let nobody tell you any different or try to make you feel any different, because you worked hard and you deserved it and you earned it. Nobody gave you anything. And don't expect them to start giving you anything now. That's what I want you to remember. Don't start expecting them to give you anything. So that being said, y'all, Tony Gravely, Miss Nikki Fightheads MMA, we gave y'all all that we had tonight. January 25th, this young man makes his debut at UFC Fight Night. You want to tune in, and you're going to want to remember this young man's face, because his plan is to stay the long haul. He want to be there. That's where he want to retire from. So you might as well get used to his face and get happy with it, because he coming to stay. He got his bags and everything. So with that being said, get used to him. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Gravely. It's always an honor to talk to you, young man. I wish you the best in your upcoming debut. I'm going to be watching with both my eyes. Sometimes I have to have an eye on one fight and an eye over here watching something else, but this time I'm going to have both eyes on this fight. We are proud of you, young man. Go in there and do your thing. Win, lose, or draw, you know you got us. We got your back, mate. We got your back.
Thanks a lot.
That's what's up. Yes. Thank you so much, young man. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. What did I do? Oh, okay. There you have it, you guys. Tony Gravely, he is about to make his debut. I am so proud of this young man. I cannot tell you. I know he's been in the wings for a while, waiting, doing his thing. He stayed ready so he didn't have to get ready. So when they called his name, he was able to step up and do what he needed to do. And now he has made it, you guys. He's over there. He's making his pro debut and making his debut at the UFC. His record is 19-5, you guys. So he's not no slouch. And he's been champion at several different promotions before going over to the UFC. So don't expect him to get over there and start slouching. Don't expect him to go over there and not do what he's been doing. He's about to take it up a notch on us. So I'm expecting that, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for him. And y'all, it just don't get no better than this, to see you guys get to do and live out your dreams and happy while you're doing it. And things are going well. So with that being said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's Nikki Fightheads MMA bringing y'all the heat one more time. Boom.